Kyle Tucker, you are king of the land for as far as the ball can fly. Oh, I've been working on practicing that line from an old ESPN intro, and I bombed it. Well, you know what? You know who didn't bomb it tonight? The Astros, other than Kyle Tucker. That's right. We're going to talk about this victory, what went good, what went bad, and what they need to fix going forward on tonight's Locked On Astros.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter, Eric Talkstros. Find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day, even though everybody's being super negative about the first, 6 innings of the game, 7 innings a game. We are still here to be your positive outlook. And Brett, when you're always positive, where can they find you at?
They can find me at MH Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. I did not know that we were going to have a positive show tonight. Always Stros.
Yes, if y'all could only be a fly on the wall in a conversation we had before the game, but that little plan has changed. But you know what? If you like this hat and if you like wearing comfortable clothes, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB or enter promo code LockedOnMLB for a free white tech hat with any order. You won't want to take your bird dogs off, and we promise you. And thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us. Go ahead and make us your first listen, become an everyday or somebody that listens to our podcast every day, whether it's on Google, Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, yada, wherever you listen to the podcast. Go and check us out and become an everydayer like we do the podcast every day. Go and listen to us every day because this team is stressful. This team is exciting. This team is what the heck just happened. But you have moments like this that makes you be like, man, this is why I love baseball. And that's what we saw today.
Eric got all choked up. Look, I'll tell you this. We are going to talk about Kyle Tucker later on. I promise you we're not going to talk about him on the onset because we know that you guys know what we all know about Kyle Tucker. But this game really started out shaky, and 2 home runs early in the game by Framber. Both pitches were like middle of the plate. I mean, they were absolute juice balls.
Right.
There was someone on Twitter who said, man, in my prime, I would have taken that ball 520 feet every time. I mean, he was throwing very hittable pitches, and automatically, the conversation online went to, well, if Diaz was behind the plate, and I do think at some point Diaz needs to be catching Framber because if you, hey, what's up? Hey, thanks, Mom. My mom's on here.
And happy birthday to H-Town Wheelhouse tomorrow. So
yes, sir. Tomorrow, if you're listening on Wednesday, it is my birthday. I am a year older. I'll just say this: I'm 2 years away from 50, and it's very hard to believe that I'm that old. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mom. But hey, if anyone's going to interrupt our podcast, I would not. I don't mind my mom doing it. So I love you very much. Appreciate you. But with Framber, just early on, he just wasn't sharp. And I talked to everybody in Southwest Louisiana this morning, and they asked me, how do you think Framber does? And I'm like, look, he just came off a no-hitter. I think he's confident. He was looking sharp. I expect him to replicate that tonight. And I know it's the Orioles, but this would be the perfect exclamation point for Framber to put on it and to start finding consistency on the mound. But he didn't do that. And the way the Astros were hitting early on, Eric, they had 6 or 7 singles or 8. It was 6 or 7 hits or 8 hits. And they were all singles at first. Yeah. They didn't have an extra base hit until later on. And so it just looked like one of those games. And then you really started to question, where's the fight in this team? Man, the Orioles are playing with their hair on fire. What's going on? Where are the bats? And so Framber struggles. He hasn't pitched great. He has pitched well enough this year. But I'll give some numbers on him here in a second where he's pitched the last few outings because Chandler Ohm compiled his last, I think, 5 starts, and it's not great.
Outside of the no hitter, yes.
Yeah,
And I do
outside
want,
of the, yeah.
yeah, I do want to bring up one thing that a lot of people may miss. He allowed I think it was with the third inning, he allowed the third run to score. He went home with the ball instead of getting the out at first base.
Right.
He missed that play at home plate, and the guy reached at first base as well. So that guy eventually scored on Huysman's home run there. So you always try to get that guy out because then you had that play that the Orioles tried to challenge, they lost, and so that play stood. And so I think that if you would have gotten that out, you probably could have got out of that inning without giving up that home run to make it 5-0 at that time. So Framber Valdez made a mistake play there. You always try to get the sure out. I know he was trying to prevent the third run from scoring there because he's like, the Astros offense hasn't been able to score right now. So, but it was only the second inning. You always try to limit the damage, get the sure out, and if you're down 3-0, that's better than being down 5-0. And to his credit, he did stay in there and limit their offense to 6 runs over 7 innings. So he stayed in there, and I think that he recovered well. He wasn't pitching. He didn't have his best stuff today. He allowed a lot of hard hits, and the Astros made a lot of great plays behind him. But I think overall, he kept them in a game, and the Astros offense bailed him out.
Yeah, the Astros offense did bail him out. So outside of the amazing no-hitter that he threw, which was absolutely phenomenal, wish I was there, his last 7 starts combined, 43 innings pitched, giving up 42 hits, 27 earned runs, 14 walks, 40 strikeouts, 7 home runs with a 5.65 ERA. That is not Framber-esque. Now, this is what I expect Framber to do when we get closer to the playoffs. I expect him to get focused. I expect him to get dialed in. And what I'm wondering is, why wouldn't Dusty think of maybe letting Diaz catch him? Maybe give him a different look. Say, okay, Maldy, your job is to get this kid prepared and sit down with him and Framber and say, look, Diaz is going to catch you today, and this is what we're going to work on. And when I see this or this, we're going to make this adjustment and do that. Because if you get into the playoffs and if Maldonado can't catch him, and all of a sudden you have Diaz catching him, is Framber going to fall into his old ways? Is Framber going to mentally check out? I don't know. I don't think he will, but give him a chance now. Let Diaz in there to be in there now, because he even hits better when he's catching, when he's playing in the field. So that's just something I was thinking about tonight. I really would hope that Diaz would get a chance to catch him on one of these next 2 or 3 starts that Framber has coming up.
Yeah, the Astros were able to score 2 runs in the 3rd inning. They got another run in the 8th inning, but the big offense came in the 9th inning. But the Astros pitchers, you had Stanek come in with a scoreless inning. Ryan Presley, after sitting out a couple of games with soreness, he came back in and pitched a great inning. So the Astros pitching, outside of the terrible start by Framber Valdez, they held the line, so to speak. They kept it 6-2 at the time. Then it became 6-3. And that set up for some of the drama that we saw late in that game. And we'll kind of talk some more about that 9th inning, because we really need to spend some time on that. And, it felt very comfortable there with John Singleton looking at the pitches. And it's like, this is a whole different dude. This is not the same guy we saw come up and make his big league debut. And so he just looked comfortable up there, like he was wearing some bird dogs or something, because they're very comfortable, Brett.
Yeah, they are. Bird dogs make you look good. Bird dogs stretch. They are basically khaki shorts that are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Trust me, people were like, you obviously haven't skipped leg day. No, that's right, I have, but it's because I have bird dogs on. And the shorts do exactly what you want, just like Lululemon, but they fit better. I even actually have a pair of bird dog pants. I have 3 pairs of Bird Dog shorts, a pair of Bird Dog pants, and I have the hat. I'm just not wearing it on my dome right now, but they fit way better. What's cool is you can get them with liners on the inside. Phenomenal technology because they have anti-stink sweat wicking fabric. And you dudes out there need some help with that, especially if you're a hardworking guy on the golf course or you're trying to work those sales leads on that business trip. Wear your Bird Dogs, because showing yourself off wearing your Bird Dogs to other people is going to help you take your game to the next level. So go to birddogs.com/lockedonmlb or enter the promo code lockedonmlb for a free white tech hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/lockedonmlb for a promo code lockedonmlb today. And make sure that you catch the Houston Astros this Wednesday versus the Baltimore Orioles at 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Check out your hometown broadcast on the Sirius XM app. Search Astros on SXM and go Stros.
All right. So I know somebody said that on TBS or somewhere the Baltimore or TBS announcers were saying that that Bautista was the best closer out there. And I was listening on my way home because I had to go drop off something somewhere. Even Sparky and Ford were talking about how Bautista could potentially win the Cy Young Award this year. And because he's been
good.
One of the best relievers in baseball this year. And of course, don't you know, that sets up this perfect situation where you have a guy that hasn't put on a uniform for the Houston Astros since 2015. It's been 8 years. This is a guy that has made a miraculous comeback. I know guys don't normally get this chance, but he has, and he has developed a better eye at the plate. He doesn't strike out quite as much. He has developed so because he doesn't strike out that much, he has more power, and we've seen that down in AAA. And the question is, can that translate to the big league level? But what we saw in today's game was, I believe it was ball 3. From what I heard, it was what they term as the wipeout pitch. It was the pitch that normally strikes out most hitters. But Singleton was able to lay off that. And then the 4th pitch, the ball 4, was the basically something in the dirt. And Singleton led off with that walk. And then
I just think that when I was watching that at bat, my first thought was, man, they really studied Bautista before they got up to bat. Like, they looked at because they can look at that stuff in the dugout. They can look at what his tendencies are. And he is the best closer in baseball right now. There's no argument there.
Right.
But also with his frequency of use, you have more data on him. And like you talked about the wipeout pitch, and they actually talked about that on the radio. They talked about that on the broadcast. Man, most hitters are biting on that pitch. 9 out of 10 hitters are swinging, and they're swinging for the fences. It was really good to see Singleton get in there and get a walk. Like, he didn't, he didn't really have any pressure on him, Eric. A lot of people were saying online, well, don't make him feel pressure. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that everything John Singleton's been through in his life, that somebody tweeting something is not going to put. I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to that crap. And he gets up there and he does, because he understands what the goal is. The goal is not to hit a home run your first at bat. The goal is to get on base. The goal is to help the team. And he did that. And the way they got on base, the way they got the bases loaded. And then Kyle Tucker's at bat. That was a masterful at bat. I believe earlier in the game, he dropped the ball or something like that. And he doesn't typically do that. He usually makes
it was
the
a
catches.
bad looking play.
Well, he's your Gold Glove right fielder. And that is the type of player that Kyle Tucker is. That is the type of player that Kyle Tucker needs to become on a daily basis.
Right.
And that is why we've got to find a way to keep this guy here, get him on a long-term contract at the end of this season, because he is going to be one of your pillars of this organization going forward. If you want more championships, you've got to keep Kyle Tucker in an Astros uniform.
Yes. So then Altuve got a single, and then Bregman struck out. And then I didn't get to see it because I was on the road. But from what I understood, Alvarez hit a deep drive that Mateo.
That ball. Eric, that ball, I thought it was going out.
Mm-hmm.
And he went up with his glove. The ball went right under his glove.
Yeah.
So they made it on the radio. Did you think it hit the ground first? I thought it hit the ground first, is the way they described it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was the longest single probably of Alvarez's career.
Yeah.
But that set up the perfect situation, bases loaded, 1 out for Kyle Tucker, and Kyle Tucker came up and did what he does so often, and this is why the Astros really need to try to extend him. I don't think it's too late, but he hit a grand slam, and it was just what the Astros needed, and we're expecting everything to be so super negative. Well, Valdez wet the bed again after doing this, and the Astros offense can't do anything.
Right.
But this just kind of a game like this, where you see a comeback like this shows that they have this fire. And and it started with a guy that's been battling his way back to the big leagues. And if John Singleton didn't get the walk, could Martin Maldonado have done something? Sure. But Dusty Baker took a risk and put a unknown player in there in that situation, and it paid off.
I mean, how many times have we seen people tweet out, or people say to us even personally on text, why is Maldonado batting right now? Right now they have a power bat, like you mentioned, off the bench. This was Kyle Tucker's 20th home run of the season, his 2nd grand slam of this year, and the 4th grand slam of his career.
I thought it was his 5th, but you could be right.
Okay, well, I mean, look, I went back and counted. I may have missed one, but I did count 4. Maybe there was 4, and I didn't add the one in tonight, so 4. It could be 5. But
okay.
He now has 20? Is it 24 stolen bases and 20 home runs? He's going for 30-30, and I remember the first time we heard that number 30-30 by Jose Canseco was super famous because he reached 30 stolen bases, 30 home runs. That was a big deal because home run hitters aren't known for their speed. So in a game where stolen bases, has increased, but it's still not a main part of the game. It would be great for Kyle Tucker to get that. And Eric, I think this launches him into the MVP conversation. I don't think he wins the MVP because of Shohei Ohtani. He's chasing the Triple Crown. He's probably going to run away with it this year. I don't see why he couldn't. It's really the most valuable popular player award, not really the most valuable player. But if the Astros get into the postseason as the 1 seed and the Astros win the World Series, I know it's not a postseason award, but Kyle Tucker to me would be the most valuable piece of that pie of any team out there because he's actually helping his team win. And against the Orioles, who right now are the standard bearer in the American League for 2023, it is a great thing to see.
Thoughts by Dusty.
All right, so this was after the game, and Dusty Baker is like, oh no, I'm going to hear all these questions. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I start Chaz? I'm just going to hear all these after the game. But this is what he said after the game. That was a beautiful sight. Yeah, duh. It really just recovered the whole game. Framber Valdez's bad start, the bad play by Kyle Tucker, just your inability to score runs early in game. And it just, that's the ability of having Alvarez and Tucker batting back to back, because in this situation, like what we saw today, that scares the opposing teams. And if you have Altuve, Bregman, and then you have Alvarez and then Tucker, and then hopefully we get somebody that can start hitting behind those guys, that's going to scare a lot of teams. And yes, so Dusty Baker, that was a beautiful sight.
It was. It definitely was a beautiful sight. And just to address Michael, man, I didn't say Kyle Tucker was going to win the MVP. I said he was in the conversation, but I said Ohtani's going to win it because of his Triple Crown chasing and what he's doing on the mound. So I'm not arguing that it's Ohtani's by a country mile. I'm just saying just because there's one clear-cut guy that's probably going to win it doesn't mean that other people aren't in the conversation. I mean, look, at Bautista's in the Cy Young competition. He's definitely going to be in the MVP talk. I mean, Ohtani's going to be in the MVP talk. And so At the end of the day, you just look around the league, who is the most valuable player to their team. You take those guys, and you rank them 1 through 10 or 1 through 5. Kyle Tucker, I think, easily is a top 5 guy in the league. This team just needs to show more of this, Eric. This team needs to show, because right now I'm looking at the scoreboard, top of the 4th, Texas up 40-0 on Oakland. I mean, not like that's a feat or anything, but Texas has won 7 games in a row. They're possibly going to win their 8th game in a row. They will not stop winning. It's frustrating to watch. And what like a statement to me for the Astros, don't just win the world, don't just win the series, win the whole series, sweep the series. They come back for a short 3-game set with Hall of Fame weekend. Dude, start a winning streak of your own. I mean, you can't really pay attention to what Texas is doing. You got to take care of your stuff. And I think as long as they do that, they should be fine.
A couple of things that Jeremy Pena did after games, dropped a "if nobody got me" in reference to Kyle Tucker. So they definitely pay attention to social media. And also, I do see a little note from Sarah Langs. She said that Kyle Tucker's grand slam was on a 100.4 miles per hour pitch, the 3rd fastest pitch hit for a grand slam in pitch tracking error. The other ones were Bobby Witt Jr., 7:28:23, which was 101.8, and the other one was this year as well, 7:21:23. Matt McClain with the Reds, which was 100.9 miles per hour. So this is definitely what we're seeing now with the pitch clock. We're seeing a lot of pitchers maybe still throwing fast, but they're also giving up a lot more of these grand slams on the fastest pitches. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but definitely a lot of people are probably looking at the Astros as sleepers going into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. And let me tell you about Sleeper. It is a great fantasy baseball app. You need to get it. I've used it. I've played the game. It's really fun. You get to $100 match on your first deposit on mobile only, sleeper.com/promo/locked on. Check that out. So the promo code is locked on, and you enter that in. Again, a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. You see Sleeper's terms for details, currently operational over 30 states. Check them out today. You can basically take a line where you choose several different players from the same game, one pitcher and how many strikeouts he'll get, the other team, how many home runs they'll hit, or how many singles. And you can create this super parlay. And the more you bid, the more you go with the high or the low, whichever it gives you the most points back, it multiplies. And not only that, the payouts are very instant. You can win 100 times your money on there using the promo code locked on. So swing for the fences, and don't forget to use that promo code because you get in-game contest. You can go on most stat categories to place a contest for home runs, triples, and so much more. So check it out. Dynamic Payouts Live at sleeper.com, and go check it out and use the promo code locked on. And don't forget that if you are going to watch the Astros play, make sure that you watch them at Hooters. That's right. Hooters has great deals for you every single day. Every day of the week, they have a special. If you show up on a Wednesday, I can tell you that you will get buy one, get one boneless wings. It's a great deal. If you go on Thursday this week, $19.99 wings in Big Daddy Bundle. They always have $3 Blue Moon drafts and $9.99 Michelob Ultra pitchers. No matter the occasion, Hooters is ready to make you happy. Whether you're in Pearland, Sugarland, whether you're in Katy, Humble, Galveston, Seabrook, NASA. The list goes on. Sugarland, Pasadena. There is a Hooters near you. And if you want to, they do have a Ditch Day bus trip on August 24th this month at the NASA Hooters. Go check it out. Also, go check out their desserts while you're there. Everything there is great. The specials are amazing. And why wouldn't you go want to be served by the world famous Hooters girls? That's right, in Beaumont as well. Yes, Sam. So check out the Astros and Orioles this Wednesday, 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search Astros.
Everybody keeps on asking about the shirts, Brett. This was your Christmas present last year to me. Where did you get
that? From the gift shop.
Okay.
Yeah, I just I think I either got them from the MLB.com, or I can't remember if I think actually I ordered them online when they
Okay.
first came out. So yeah, I got Erica Black one. I've got a gray one as well. And so yeah, so MLB.com, they may still have them. But hey, if you go to the center field store now, you can buy like championship gear for like half off. I mean, uniforms and everything. So go check that out next time you're at the game.
All right, so Jeremy Pena did have 3 hits today.
He
I
did.
know they're all singles, but it's you got to look at baby steps with him. Martin Maldonado, I don't want to go into that discussion right now. Let's think positively. But you had Diaz in the game as the DH, then he had to take over as catcher, meaning you lose the DH for the remainder of the game. But John Singleton did a job. Altuve had 1 hit. Bregman had 2 hits. So you saw a lot of people contributing in today's game. Even Diaz, without a hit, he still walked, and Myers contributed a hit. And the only one that really did not was the person we're not going to talk about tonight. We're going to try to avoid that discussion tonight. But I think that the Astros just they did a great job at not giving up in this game. And it just felt like everything was going the Orioles' way earlier in the game. It just looked like Framber had no control, and it just like everything just kind of turned around. You just slowly picked at him 1 run here, or 2 runs here, 1 run here, and then boom, just like that, you hit the knockout punch. And it's the Astros have done it before, but a grand slam normally ties it, and it just felt so good for it to give the Astros the lead in that situation.
No, it did. I mean, it was such a relief, because what you want to do as an offense, if your pitcher is struggling, you want to pick your pitcher up.
Yes.
And if you're just hitting singles, I mean, that obviously doesn't get it done. And look, this Baltimore lineup, I mean, these young stars between Adley and Gunnar, I mean, everybody they have, just phenomenal, just fun to watch this team. You know, they haven't been relevant for a minute. It's kind of funny. One of their announcers got suspended for a couple games because he made some reference that they didn't like, and then there was so much public blowback.
Even at the game today, they were saying we want Kevin Brown. Yeah,
they are reinstating him Friday. He's going to be back on the booth Friday. Oh yeah, they bent to public pressure. They got pressured. Like Larry the Cable Guy literally came out of the woodworks and talked about how it was wrong.
Where has he been?
I'm just saying. I mean, he's on Twitter. He's got a couple, he's got like 2 million followers, something like that.
Okay.
But he was commenting on it. So everybody was saying something about it, and it looked really bad on them because he didn't say. I was like, wait, did he say something offensive? I remember listening to it like 4 times, and I still didn't catch what he was saying.
Like somebody had to be in it with him. Like there was a discussion with the production crew. Is this okay? Is this okay?
Exactly? Yeah.
So it wasn't just him being like, oh yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Let me go ahead and come up with this graphics and everything. And it's just saying that they haven't had success at Tropicana Field. Okay, the Astros haven't been successful in Tropicana Field. Oh, bye. I guess I'm going bye-bye. So
right. And yeah, so they were a little sensitive, and it is what it is. I just thought it was funny. But look, if we can catch Texas, if we can catch Baltimore, if we can catch some of these teams, Bleday just hit a home run off of Scherzer, so they're chipping away at that lead. It's only a 3-run lead now by Texas. We're praying that Oakland comes back. Let's go Oakland A's. We became A's fans for the next 2 days. But Eric,
Brett, real quick, Kyle Tucker, that home run had an exit velocity of 106.9 miles per hour. It had an expected batting average of 850, a distance of 403. It would have been a home run in 28 of 30 ballparks. Can you guess which ballparks it would not have been a home run in?
It would not have been a home run in. It would not have been a home run in Minute Maid Park.
No, it would have been. It's actually Target Field and Oracle Park.
I don't know how I would have guessed Oracle Park. What the heck?
Yeah.
We don't ever talk about Oracle Park. Isn't that San Francisco?
Yes. And Alvarez's home run, I mean, not his single would have been a home run at Wrigley Field, Angel Stadium, Dodger Stadium, Go World Series, and Nationals Park. So
Mike says, why would Eric and Brett not want to discuss Abreu and Maldi's struggles and the options? Isn't that what your viewers want? Is that part of the
we
always
do that every
positive stuff?
day.
Oh my God, dude, we have talked about this. We have talked about these things. I can tell you right now.
We have told you why Maldi is
said,
starting. He's starting because the pitchers want to throw to him. Dusty Baker likes having him as the captain.
And we both said that we don't necessarily agree with that we would think Diaz deserves more playing time. Okay. We've said that. We talked about Abreu. Abreu really has had one good month, and that's it. And so Abreu gets paid a whole lot of money. And let me tell you why he's going to keep playing, because he's getting all the cheddar. And when you're getting the cheddar, you don't just sit that cheddar on the bench, no matter how bad they're doing. And so it's just we try to address it. I appreciate you bringing it up so we could just reemphasize what we've already said. And so we do appreciate you guys listening and asking the questions, but we haven't gone into a great detail about Abreu. But look, if Singleton's up and he's hitting, Abreu's going to be getting some rest days. And if Dusty feels like he can trust him at the plate, Abreu's going to get some rest days. And Diaz hopefully will get more times behind the plate than he has been, and it's all good.
All right, so tomorrow's game, it's going to be Christian Javier versus Jack Flaherty. Flaherty's came over with the trade with the Cardinals. He actually had a great start in his first start with the Orioles. He's 8-6 with a 4.28 ERA, 114 strikeouts. Christian Javier, his record is 7-2 with a 4.39 ERA. So he's been hit or miss recently. I think somebody in the chat said that he's probably going to throw a no tomorrow. So we hope that we need this guy to be successful. We need this guy to go out there and pitch with confidence, to have that invisible, to be missing bats like we've seen him at times. And so I think that's great. So I just really think that the Astros just need this guy to be their number 3 guy. You have Justin Verlander, Framber Valdez. You need Christian Javier to be that number 3. If not, you have JP France or Hunter Brown. Somebody's got to step up in that situation.
Yeah, I agree. Look, at the end of the day, it's about all 9 players showing up to play, no matter who's in the lineup, whether it's Maldi, whether it's Diaz, whether it's Singleton, whether it's Abreu. You got one job. Go in there and play good defense behind your pitcher and hit the freaking ball. Don't chase sliders off the plate. Good job today by Pena, because I can tell you the scouting report on him right now. Throw up a slider down and away. He'll swing at it every time.
Today, he's actually struggling on fastballs too.
Well, he hit the fastballs today. He did today. He did better.
Yeah.
So look, no matter what goes on, rain or shine, win or lose, we're always here with you. And we appreciate your input. We really do. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Thank y'all for making us your team every single day. And don't forget, the Astros play the Orioles Wednesday, 6:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM and the SXM app. Search Astros. And for us, see us tomorrow. We'll talk about hopefully another victory. And tell them, Eric.
And there's 372 of y'all in the chat. Go ahead and give us a like, please. Go ahead and subscribe to us and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify. Go and subscribe to us, and we'll see you tomorrow. And go Strips. Yeehaw. That was on screen.